Hey YouTube, this is the Holdout 1 from Cold Steel. This has just been released in the last few weeks, so I'm trying to get a video out quickly because I know many people will want to get a closer look at this blade, trying to decide if it's worth their money or not, so trying to help you out. The blade length is 6 inches. It is AUS 8 Japanese stainless steel. The handle material is very aggressively textured G10. All right, and this blade shape is actually designed after an ancient Scottish type of knife, so that's pretty cool. And the Holdout 1 does come in plain edge or fully serrated. All right, the magic of editing. As I was saying, it comes in plain edge or fully serrated. You see the fully serrated model there. And I've also put that little Counterpoint 2 folder there just as a size reference. You see how massive these Holdout 1 folders are. That Counterpoint 2 has a 3-inch blade, and as you can see, these are about twice as big. 6-inch blade. And these folders are quite impressive. Alright, I'm sure you're wondering, how sharp is this right out of the box? That is a full hollow grind, not even partial hollow, but a full hollow grind. Nice. Do a little initial sharpness test. Cold Steel gives you a very sharp knife. It's, you know, it's razor or almost razor, I would say. All right, and I'm sure you're also wondering, what about the serrations? Do they cut? Are they going to get hung up? Well, let's test that out. All right, here is a close-up of the serration pattern. You see it's basically kind of scalloped, and then in between are some little jagged points. All right, and on the other side, obviously, you know, it's like a chisel kind of. All right, let's test these serrations. Alright, you can see that. Absolutely no difference in cutting the paper anyway between the fully serrated and the plain edge. Let me try a little bit with some more difficult paper, thin phone book paper. Hey Sears. Alright. Serrated. Alright, now as far as the features of the knife, it has the Cold Steel triad locking mechanism right there. See the handle, G10, aggressively textured, extremely grippy, right? And the handle does widen out. You know, it tapers towards the pommel. It widens out to make it harder to go up on the blade. It has these circular cutouts right there. Right, now you have to press that down firmly, triad lock. Comes set up for right side tip up carry, can be switched to left side. There's a one-sided thumb stud, and then that's a screw head there. It's reversible. Opening, pretty smooth, pretty easy opening for a large knife. Let's try to use the screw head there. Yeah, you can use the screw head too if you don't want to reverse it. Impressive blade overall. Now you see it has no liners, right? But it is extremely thick G10. It weighs about 7.7 ounces, right? So if it had liners, it would just be, you know, unmanageable. It's actually, I mean, for a blade of this size, you know, the weight isn't so bad, and it is really slim. All right, for its length, it's very slim. Now, if you were to compare this to a fixed blade, like I said, it's about 6 inches. It would be comparable to something like this, the UK SFK. All right, little size comparison. You see the blades are roughly, you know, roughly a similar length. All right, so this is basically a folding version of, let's say, a mid-sized military fighter. Basically, is what this is. Alright, and here's the fully serrated one. Very nice. I like how easily these open. I mean, for for a large blade. Now the use of this blade, I think pretty much Cold Steel is selling this as either a collectible or as a weapon. So do I think that it could function as such? Well, I mean, yeah, this is a vicious blade. It basically is 6-inch. It's a single-edged dagger. You see the very pointed spear point, drop point spear point there. Modeled after, a knife used by Scottish warriors. So overall, yeah, basically another gruesome weapon from evil Cold Steel. Now, one interesting thing about a knife of this length, as far as knife manipulation, basic knife handling skills, you can't really transition grip. Now, this is probably not going to actually come up, so I'm just saying this for information purposes. With a big knife like this, you can't really transition grips like you would because the handle is just too long. It gets in the way. So you would have to choke down before you could do it and then, choke back up. It's very awkward, but there is an alternative method. Basically, to switch grips, you do that. All right, did you see that? All right, you just do that. All right, you see that? What I'm doing here, index finger here, thumb here. All right, it flips between your fingers like that. It's hard to do it slow, but especially with a thin hand, like a narrow, handle like that, it actually makes it very easy to put it between your fingers. All right, so that's it's a little trick which is never going to come up, but if it does, now you know. All right, so my overall first impression at these knives, obviously there's a lot of people right now trying to decide if they want to buy one. Well, they're very strongly constructed. As I said, the G10 is very thick G10. The triad lock is a very strong type of lock. It's been tested. They've scientifically, they've hung weights off it. All this. As far as the weapon potential of these blades, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, a 6-inch blade is just an extremely fierce weapon. The full hollow grind, great for slicing. They come razor sharp. The opening was smooth and it was easy. And the thin handle, not only does it make it a little bit easier to carry these monsters, but it also makes it easier to transition grips if you know how. Overall, I'm very happy with these blades. Why did I buy two? Aside from wanting to be able to show you both models. Double daggers, it's a very rare type of training to use double daggers, but it's also very effective. Hey YouTube, hope you enjoyed this first look, showing you all the features, the comparison, sharpness test. Stay tuned for many more videos. I'm out of here, dudes. Peace out.